Welcome back. In the previous episode, we explored the fascinating life journey of William Shakespeare, from a young boy in Stratford-upon-Avon to becoming the most celebrated writer in history. But today, we're going to go even deeper, because knowing Shakespeare's life is only one part of the story. To truly understand his greatness, we need to understand his mind. What made his writing so special? Why do people still perform his plays after more than 400 years? And what secrets are hidden inside his most famous works? Let's continue our journey. Imagine you are living in England during Shakespeare's time. The year is around 1600. The world is very different. There are no modern movies, no television series, no YouTube, no streaming platforms. If people wanted entertainment, they often went to the theater. The theater was the center of excitement. It was where people laughed, cried, dreamed, and escaped from everyday life. And among all the writers creating stories for the stage, one name was beginning to stand above the rest: William Shakespeare. But what exactly made him different? The answer lies in his understanding of people. Many writers create characters. Shakespeare created human beings. When you read his plays, the characters don't feel fictional. They feel real. They make mistakes. They have fears. They struggle with difficult decisions. Sometimes they act wisely. Sometimes they act foolishly. Just like us. That is why audiences continue to connect with them even centuries later. Let's take Hamlet as an example. Hamlet is often considered one of the greatest literary characters ever created. At first glance, he is a prince seeking revenge for his father's death. But beneath that simple storyline is something much deeper. Hamlet constantly questions everything. He questions his purpose. He questions morality. He questions life itself. Many people today experience similar struggles. They wonder whether they are making the right choices. They wonder about their future. They wonder about the meaning of life. That is why Hamlet still feels modern, even though he was created hundreds of years ago. Now let's talk about another masterpiece, Macbeth. Macbeth begins as a respected and honorable warrior. People admire him. He has a good reputation. He has success. But then something dangerous enters his mind. The desire for more. More power. More status. More control. At first, these desires seem harmless. But slowly they begin to consume him. His ambition grows stronger than his conscience. And eventually, it destroys everything he values. This story remains powerful today because ambition is a universal human experience. Most people want success. Most people want to achieve great things. But Macbeth teaches us an important lesson. Success without integrity can become dangerous. Ambition without wisdom can lead to destruction. Shakespeare understood this truth long before modern psychology existed. Now let's move to one of the most beloved love stories ever written, Romeo and Juliet. Most people think it is simply a romantic story, but it is much more than that. It is a story about conflict, a story about family divisions, a story about how hatred can destroy innocent lives. Romeo and Juliet belong to families that have been enemies for years. Neither side even remembers how the conflict started. Yet the hatred continues. Sound familiar? Even today, many conflicts around the world begin because people inherit anger from previous generations. Shakespeare recognized this pattern centuries ago. Through Romeo and Juliet, he showed how unnecessary hatred often causes unnecessary suffering. That is one reason why his stories remain timeless. They reveal truths about human behavior. Another fascinating thing about Shakespeare is that he rarely gave simple answers. Most writers tell audiences what to think. Shakespeare encouraged audiences to think for themselves. For example, was Hamlet right or wrong? Different people give different answers. Was Macbeth completely evil, or was he simply weak? Again, opinions differ. Was Juliet brave or reckless? The debate continues. Shakespeare understood that life is complicated. People are complicated. There are rarely simple answers to difficult questions. And because of this, his plays continue to inspire discussion and debate. Now here's something many people don't realize. Shakespeare wasn't only writing tragedies. He also wrote brilliant comedies. In fact, some of his funniest works remain popular today. One example is A Midsummer Night's Dream. This play combines romance, confusion, magic, and humor. Characters fall in love with the wrong people. Misunderstandings create chaos. Strange events unfold. And audiences enjoy every moment. The play reminds us that life doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes unexpected situations create the most memorable experiences. Another famous comedy is Much Ado About Nothing. This play focuses on clever conversations and misunderstandings. Its humor feels surprisingly modern. In many ways, it resembles today's romantic comedy films. This ability to write both tragedy and comedy demonstrates Shakespeare's extraordinary versatility. He understood sadness, but he also understood joy. He understood heartbreak, but he also understood laughter. He understood the full range of human emotions, and that made his storytelling incredibly powerful. As Shakespeare's career continued, his reputation grew stronger. People eagerly waited for his new plays. His theater company became highly successful. Financially, he was doing well. Artistically, he was thriving. But success brought challenges too. Competition in London's theater world was intense. Many writers wanted to become famous. Many actors wanted recognition. Yet Shakespeare consistently remained at the top. Not because he copied others, but because he continued improving. Every new play revealed greater confidence, greater creativity, greater understanding of human nature. This is another important lesson from his life. Greatness rarely happens overnight. It develops through continuous improvement. Shakespeare didn't become a legend after writing one play. He became a legend because he spent years refining his skills. Writing, learning, observing, growing, again and again. Many people today want immediate success. But Shakespeare's story teaches patience. Mastery requires time. Excellence requires dedication. Now let's talk about one of Shakespeare's greatest superpowers: observation. He paid attention to people. He watched how they spoke, how they argued, how they loved, how they feared, how they dreamed. These observations became the foundation of his characters. In many ways, Shakespeare was studying human psychology long before psychology became a science. He understood jealousy. He understood pride. He understood guilt. He understood loneliness. And because he understood these emotions, he could write about them with incredible accuracy. That is why readers often feel as though Shakespeare somehow understands them personally, even after hundreds of years. Perhaps one of the most remarkable aspects of Shakespeare's legacy is how global it has become. His works are no longer limited to England. Today, his plays are performed in countries across the world. Students study his writing in countless classrooms. Actors dream of performing his roles. Directors create new adaptations of his stories. His influence appears in movies, novels, television shows, and even everyday language. Think about that for a moment. A writer who lived more than 4 centuries ago continues influencing modern entertainment. Very few individuals in history have achieved that level of impact. And perhaps that is the true measure of greatness. Not temporary popularity, not short-term success, but lasting influence. The ability to inspire generation after generation. The ability to remain relevant despite changing times. And Shakespeare accomplished exactly that. His body may have left this world in 1616. But his ideas never disappeared. His characters never disappeared. His stories never disappeared. Instead, they continued traveling across centuries, across continents, across cultures, finding new audiences wherever they went. And even now, as you listen to this story, Shakespeare's journey continues. Because every new reader, every new listener, every new student becomes part of his legacy. And perhaps that is the most beautiful thing about great art. It never truly dies. It simply finds new hearts and new minds. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of William Shakespeare. But we're not finished yet. In the next episode, we'll explore some of the most fascinating mysteries surrounding Shakespeare's life, including debates about his writing, hidden theories, and questions that historians are still trying to answer today. Until then, stay curious, keep learning, keep exploring, and remember, every great story has another chapter waiting to be discovered. I'll see you in the next episode.